I was actually part of a burnover that happened a few years ago.
With Forest Service?
Yeah, with on one of the fires.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was part of a burnover, and they had the whole like peer support team come out and all that stuff, and like they had us all sit in a circle, and everyone kind of like, I don't want to do this, like part of the whole mental health thing. They're like, I don't want to talk about it. And, they were just like, just say something. Like, everyone say something. Doesn't matter what you say. Just talk about it. And it was crazy to see each person, as soon as they opened up, including myself, like, just kind of like break down, like into tears. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When at first it was like, I don't need to do this. This isn't for me. And then you just started talking about it. And everyone started to open about how they thought if that was them, or like how would my family be affected, like all kinds of different things just started playing in people's heads that you didn't think they were thinking about at the time. So it was really interesting to see that part of it.
Dang. How long did that kind of have an impact on you after that incident?
It was probably a few weeks, just because it was a couple friends of mine, people that I worked with.
Yeah.
And, I knew that it wasn't like that was like, okay, they got burned, like everything's going to be all good. Like, they have a long road ahead of them. And, they're still going through it right now.
Yeah.
And, but no, it affected me because like, I was close, and it could have happened to me, it didn't happen to me. I was very fortunate, but, just to like, just thinking about what those dudes are going through, it's really tough. Like, those are strong spirited dudes. I don't know how I would be going through it. If that happened to me, I feel like I would be like a super depressed guy, kind of like hiding, not want to be out in the world anymore. So it's difficult, but I mean, I'm glad it didn't happen to me. I'm pretty fortunate. So.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I know the story you're talking about.
Yeah.
The situation. And I feel like a lot of, like this job in general, whether it's wildland, urban, city stuff, it's just like, you don't know, things happen, and like a lot of the stories that you hear, whether, on whatever front of it is, it's always to be like, you're like, dude, I literally did the same thing. I've been on a fire, I did the same exact thing, or I was on a roof and I did the same exact thing, or I was here and I did that. And it's a part, like, that's the part of the job that's like, you do have an understanding of it, but then when, it goes by for a little while and like, you don't hear about anything, and then all of a sudden you'll have a close call and you're like, oh shit, that's right. You can get really hurt or die, doing this. And, and to kind of tie in with what you're saying with the mental health stuff, I mean, like, to hear that they did like the after action and with peer support and stuff, that's amazing. It's important. And it's like, I know it's not for everybody to talk about, how it affects you as an individual, but there's one thing that seems consistent, and having had a little bit of experience with the old guard of the fire service, is that the old school way was like, don't be a bitch. Yeah. It's basically what it was. Like, if you had an issue on a call, you saw something weird that you'd never seen before, and you go to say something to a crew member, they're kind of like, dude, whatever, dude, this is what the job is, brother. Yeah. Like that kind of shit. And it's like, which is kind of cool when you're young, because you think like, yeah, I'm a part of this fucking kind of super rare situation team, basically. And if you do like team sports, this is the job for you, but I think having that mentality, there's been enough statistics and everything coming forward where it's like, it's like firefighter suicide's a thing, and I'm not just saying of seeing a bad thing on an incident, but the forces, the lack of being home, the lack of sleep, your interactions with your families, divorces, financial trouble, all those things are contributing factors to this kind of like chaotic, hectic moment for this, for this large group that's experienced this type of, behavior within the fire service. And now they have to deal with those ramifications. Whereas I feel like we're kind of in this transitional stage where the mental health is being highlighted in a way where they're being proactive about it, and having these incidents where the one you're talking about, there are some individuals that get seriously hurt, and you guys are all out there. And so like, even though, and I know the crew's like young, a lot of young guys too. And when you ask them, hey, how's that make you feel? They're probably like, whatever, I'm good, But then when you start talking, all of a sudden it's like, oh, shoot.
Yeah, you realize.
It's healthy to talk about it, man, And like, look, it doesn't make you any less. It just it gives you a little reassurance that there's a lot more people on the same page than you think. And anyway, I don't know, I was ranting there, but thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
That's wild, dude. I mean, That's a traumatic thing to go through. I think it's great that you guys talked. I am a big proponent on telling people, I don't care male, female, how tough you think you are. Just raise your hand if you need help. There's no shame in that. There's no, you're weak. I mean, we're human.
Oh,
Yeah.
You can only take so much. I read a statistic that it's like, I think it said like the average civilian will maybe see, we'll see 1, maybe 2 traumatic deaths in their lifetime of somebody else. When we go to work, it's like every day.
Yeah.
You're watching just people suffer all the time. Let's be real, right? You're called to everyone's worst moment and expected to fix it.
Yeah.
You know? So it's, I mean, that's a lot to take on. You're human. It's okay to say, hey, I need a little help right now. We used counsel team interaction after a call I talked about on here. Was unfortunately it was like a little kiddo died, less than a year. It was rough. And so it was a wild scene. You could understandably the parents are just devastated, right? So it's a lot. And I don't have kids, but I remember going back to the station and they said, hey, they're gonna have peer support. People come out and talk to you and all this. And I went back for my runners in the morning, and I usually run around this field that's by my station. I just do laps. And I broke down. I just started crying. It hit me hard. I was like, dude, this is fucking nuts. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
This is a lot to take in. But talking, and it was funny when we started, a lot of people didn't want to talk. I spoke up right away. I was like, I have something to say. I was like, this is fucked up. I just straight said it. I was like, this is messed up. Yeah, I was like, this is really hard. Like, I don't know what's going on, but this really impacted me. Like, I'm not okay with this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just messed up right now. Like, I don't want to see that. Like, this is hard, but we signed on the dotted line and do this job. That's what we're there for.
Yeah.
We're here for these people, but we have to take care of ourselves.
Yeah. I don't have kids either right now. So like, you know, any calls we go on that involve a child, maybe it doesn't affect me as much as maybe someone that does have kids, because they're probably thinking a whole lot of different things that aren't going through my mind, you know. But I'm sure once I have kids, a whole lot of other things are going to probably open up for me when I go on those calls.
Oh,
a whole lot of different feelings and emotions for sure.
yeah, I could attest to that. Because I used to feel the same way.
Yeah.
It was like, not that like you have any traumatic situation with a child's horrible, you know, and it's worse if they don't make it. And you now have this like unique situation where you're not just knowing that your efforts aren't good enough to save somebody, but now you got to explain to people, the parents, that your efforts weren't good enough to save this kid. And a lot of times it's out of your hands at all. You know what I mean? Like sometimes they've been gone for a while and you're trying to do things for the parents to feel like you're trying to do something. Or at least we used to do that, like give it a, doing CPR and stuff on a kid where you're like, they're gone. But I used to not feel so attached because I didn't have any kids. Not that it wasn't sad, it was sad. And like there was a couple of them that will to this day still stick out in my mind. But, once I had kids, now it's like, and I haven't had, knock on everything, that I haven't had a bad one for a while. But even ones that aren't that bad, I feel like, come on, you gotta go. What do you do? You're just sitting there like, and it's like, dude, I was a medic for a long time. Like I know, like, and things are processing and all that stuff. But as the person kind of watching over everything, I'm like, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? So I feel like that's because now I have kids. So it's like there's a little, not extra, but extra. Anyway. It is, it's crazy, the job sometimes.
Wow, man. Yeah. But also, I think that's why we like the job. Yeah. I mean, it's something new every day.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
It's wild. Yeah.
Dude. Where I'm at, there's something new every day.
Fact.
I know, dude.
I go into work and like, there's some stations you kind of know what to expect every day or whatever. There's places like that. My station, I don't know what's going to happen every day. Like each day is totally different. Right. It could be super busy, super slow, and I don't know what kind of call I'm gonna get. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty.
My man knows, dude.
I know they are.
Yeah. I bet you guys.
I think he knows.
Yeah. Okay, you've gotten to know Jordan pretty well. You know that he and I
maybe too well.
Yeah, we.
He came in with me.
Remember how we.
Yeah,
remember how we came together?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I know I said that.
It's a team building skill, Tim. The Romans used to do it.
That's going to be held against me for a while.
I think they did.
Should be. Someone's going to make a clip out of it.
Dude. Whatever.
Whatever.
Have fun with it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay, you know that we like conspiracy theories, right?
I didn't know that, but
You stop it. Stop it.
well, I know this guy does.
Well, we both do.
Okay.
We both
We
do.
goose. We.
There's a lot happening right now